Mhm.
See what?
Test.
No.
Okay, we would like to welcome everyone to the February 7th, 2024 Cottonwood Heights Planning Commission Business Session. First of all, among our commissioners, we have any ex parte communications or conflicts of interest to disclose? Seeing none and acknowledging that we have a quorum, the first item of business will be general public comment. That will be followed by, we have one business item before us, and we will address that when we get to it. So for general public comment, we do not have anybody here present in the audience. We do have one online participant. Nope, that's just you, Maria. So not just you, importantly, Maria. So with that in mind, do we have a motion to close? Do we need a motion? I'm going to close public comment at this time, and we'll move to our single business item, project ZTA-24-001, a public hearing and possible action on a city-initiated zoning text amendment to make administrative updates to portions of the Title 12 and Title 19 of City Code. The purpose of this text amendment is to clarify ambiguous definitions and procedures and rectify conflicting provisions as part of an ongoing city code maintenance. And just for the public, these are things that the staff has done on a regular basis to kind of keep track of any, potential misunderstandings and make sure that things are clear. And we as a commission are grateful for their efforts in this. And if you had a chance to listen to the work session, we discussed these in a little bit more detail, but for the sake of the business session, if staff will present those to us and we'll consider the possibility of a motion afterward.
Great, yeah, as stated by the chair, anyone can hop onto the separate stream for the work session. It's uploaded to YouTube as a separate video, so you can click onto that for February 7th, 2024. Hear the in-depth conversation. Given the lack of attendees in our audience physically and online, I would recommend we go the route of past VTAs where I just kind of restate the changes I heard from you. And we can answer any more questions you have, but not run through the full gamut.
Are we in agreement? Okay,
Great. Okay, so the changes from the two I presented, we discussed updating the definition or the terminology surrounding places of worship to be that more broad term rather than specifying some that may be denominational. And then also specifying that the allowances for a monument sign on those properties are limited to those with a primary use as a place of worship. And then as far as the ones from Ian's section, there was a consensus around on the accessory building regulations, including a regulation for accessory buildings to be no more than 25% of the rear yard and 70% of the floor area of the primary structure, except for in rural residential zones, just doing the 25% metric and not the 70%. I think those were the two changes that we really had consensus around. Were there any others that I'm missing? Okay, well then I think that's pretty typical to what we usually share in these meetings. Are there any other questions for staff? Okay, then I'm gonna take a seat.
okay. Any other clarifications and any further discussion from the planning commissioners? Okay, and we have a model motion on the screen in front of us. Anybody feeling comfortable enough that we can make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we move forward with the recommendation of approval of the city council for project ZTA 24-001. Based on the finding listed in the staff memo and attachments dated February 7th, 2024, with the clarifications as just presented by staff.
Second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Smith and a second by Commissioner Anderson. What's in order now is any further discussion of the motion? Seeing now, we'll close discussion. Are you ready for the vote? Okay, Commissioner Anderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Chapel,
Yes.
Commissioner Shelton,
Yes.
Commissioner Steinman,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Mills is yes. And that is all the business we have for this evening. We have, our next planning commission meeting will be March the 6th. And we'll entertain one more motion.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor of adjourn, please say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.